As you guys do know, I do have two other kids, Santiago and Natalie. Natalie is my first, Santiago is my second, and this is my third. This little baby. Okay, so sorry about the music. Santiago's watching Netflix. He's up already, and I have my coffee right here. So with Natalie, I was, 18, 19? 18, about to be 19. I had just graduated from high school when me and my then boyfriend found out we were pregnant. I honestly didn't know I was pregnant. The one that told me that I was pregnant was my boyfriend, now husband. He was like, because I was like, well, I keep feeling this like flutter in my stomach. It feels like a flutter. And I've never used that word. Like, honestly, I don't even know how that like came up. But I felt like a flutter, and then I was like, I keep getting like these like cramp type things, but they're not cramps. Like, they're just like sharp pains on my stomach. And he was like, right away, he was like, you're pregnant. And I was like, no, that can't be happening. And sure enough, I was. I took a test the next morning. I don't know why, but I did it right before work. I had two jobs. I worked at a nursing home, and then I worked at an assisted living at the time. So I took the test, and it came back positive. And I was like, honestly, I was really shocked, but I've always been pro-life. And I'm sorry to go into this topic, but I've always been pro-life. I've never said that I wanted to get an abortion ever. Like, that was not my plan. That was never my plan. So I told him, well, what do you want to do? And obviously I knew the type of person my boyfriend was. I knew he was gonna want to be in the baby's life, in my life. So after I found out, I texted him. I'm like, hey, I'm pregnant. And he was like, okay, I knew it. And since I was going to work, I quickly just put it in a bag. I was crying, and I told my sister, we shared a room at the time. I told my sister, and she was like, no. And I was like, yes. And at this point, I was happy. I was like, I'm gonna have a baby. Like, this is awesome. And my sister, I was crying. So my sister-in-law and my brother were living at my mom's house at this time, when they first got married. So my sister-in-law walks in, and she's like, what happened? And I'm like, honestly, I was laughing, and I was like, I wasn't laughing, but I was smiling, and I was like, I'm pregnant. And then she was just like, no, Erica, you are not pregnant. And I was like, yes, I am. I'm pregnant. Look. And it was one of those digital tests. So there was like literally nothing. Like I was pregnant. And he was like, when are you going to tell your parents? And I'm like, well, I'm probably going to tell them after work. And my sister-in-law, sorry, Mari Carmen, she never keeps a secret from my brother. And I mean, it's kind of hard. Now I understand. At the time, I didn't understand, but now I understand as a wife. It's pretty hard to keep a secret from your husband. Especially one of, that, like, it was a big secret. And so I asked her, I'm like, you know what, like, don't say anything. I'm going to tell them later. But she ended up telling my brother. So this is when it gets interesting. When she told my brother got super mad. He was, my sister texted me. I was at work. And she was like, hey, you shouldn't have told Mari Carmen. She went and told Christian. And Christian texted me. He's like, if you don't tell my parents, I will. I was like, oh, crap. So after that, I got off at night because I mean, I had 2 jobs. So I got off, I think, at 10. And by the time I walked in, my mom and my dad were sitting down there waiting for me with my brother. And he was like, "So are you going to tell them where I am?" And I was like, I got mad. I was like, I'm going to tell them, like, who are, like, what the heck? And I'm like, I'm pregnant. Like, obviously, I started crying and stuff because it was really emotional. If you guys know me, I'm a crybaby. So I was like, estoy embarazada. And I'm sorry, it's just so funny to me, like, now, like, what we went through, and it's just funny. But at the time, it was not. It was a serious matter, and my dad got really mad. My dad has always been the person that, like, he won't hate you, but when he's really mad, he'll, like, scare you. And I just remember my dad's face. Like, my mom was just like, oh, Erika. Like, disappointed, but like, I knew she would budge. You know what I mean? I knew it wasn't going to be, like, a bigger deal to her than my dad. And honestly, like, my dad is, like, my hero. Dude, why am I crying? To disappoint him was probably one of the hardest things that I've done. But he got up and he was like ready to hit me, but he like put his hand down and he just walked away. He just walked into his room, and I think that hurt me more than him wanting to hit me, honestly. He literally walked into his room and he was like, and he left. And my other brother Jose, walked out of his room and he was like, "What happened? What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm pregnant." He was like, and JoJo is just awkward. I honestly don't remember what he did, but JoJo's funny. So after that, I just stayed crying there, and everyone was just staring at me, just like while I was there, like crying. And then I think my dad came out and he was like, pues ya que. He was like, "Te vamos a apoyar en lo que tú decidas." Like, whatever my decision was, he was gonna be there and he was gonna like be there with me. I think they hugged me. I'm not sure. And honestly, I didn't want to tell my mom because her birthday was the next day. So I was going to wait till like the day after. And then I had told that to my brother, and that's why he set them down. But if I would have just told him that I was going to tell him, I think he would have been fine with it. But at the time, I was just really angry. Because I was like, how is he going to not give me the chance to tell my own parents, like, my thing? You know what I mean? But at the end, it all worked out, and I'm not mad anymore because I understand what he was going through and stuff. But, like I said, I got mad at the time. But then after that, I think it was really late. It was like already like 10:30. I don't know what time, because I got home really late, and I had told Fernando we weren't going to say anything, right? And then so I got home and I had to tell them since my brother already knew and stuff. So he was like, so after all that happened, my dad was just like, "Okay, just go to sleep. Like, let's just go to sleep." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Good night." And I went to go shower and do my stuff. And then I texted Fernando right away. I'm like, "Hey, you need to tell your parents. Like, my parents already know." And then he was like, "How? What? When?" Like, "Okay, I'll tell them tomorrow." And so the next day we woke up and Fernando needs to explain like what happened on his part, because um the way his mom explains it to me is that he was like sitting on a counter and like he was just thinking and staring at like nothing. Y que nada más lo miraba bien pensativo. And right now it's funny, but at the time, like as a mom, you're like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? So like, and he just kept moving like from one chair to another, and like he wouldn't say anything. He would just like stay quiet, and he was acting weird. And he finally ended up telling his parents. And that's a whole different like ballpark. And something I can't explain because I wasn't there. Um so after we told our parents, we all sat down together, I think the day after, and we had to talk like, okay, so what are you guys gonna do? Like, are you guys gonna like be together, get married, have this baby, not have this baby? I mean, that wasn't an option for us, but they were just wanting to be, what's the word? Supportive. So at this point, we're like talking, we're like, and me and Fernando had already talked. We're like, we're gonna get married before the baby comes, so it can just be out of the way. And we're going to, I mean, move in together. Like that was our plan. That was, we had always said that. So I think it was, we found out in February. In March 5th is our anniversary. We got married March 5th, and it was a small ceremony. Um it was at his church. Yay. Sorry, I just got a text. Um so whenever we got married on March 5th, we went on our honeymoon. We went to San Antonio to the zoo, and by this time I was already having like symptoms of like I was pregnant. I had already gone to the doctor, and we had found out I was 3 months, 2 months, no, 3 months, no, 2 months already. I was 2 months, so I was already like throwing up, like it was just really bad. And I'll do a separate like symptoms and other video if you guys really want to know what I went through that pregnancy, because it's really cool. I mean, it's not really cool. It's just interesting to people that haven't been pregnant or just want to know. So after that, well, we just moved into, I think we moved into my mother-in-law's house for a couple months. I think it was like 2-3 months. It's like 2 months. Like 2 months, I think. Or maybe a month. I'm not sure, honestly. And we ended up moving out after that. We only lived there for a while. And we moved out and we got our little apartment. And we lived happily ever after. I'm just kidding. And with Santiago is kind of shorter. Santiago, I was like, oh, crap. I had that same feeling, that same little flutter. I was like, babe, I'm pregnant. I am pregnant. I'm pregnant. And it was a complete surprise to us again. But it was a blessing. But yeah, that is it for that how I found out I was pregnant video. Please come back for more. I'm gonna do birth and delivery story, and that's gonna be up probably the same time as this one is. But thank you guys for watching, and always come back to my channel. I know I didn't do my makeup because I was so interested in this conversation. But thank you for watching.